I'm making my coming out video, finally! Right, okay. I've got loads to put in, so I don't know how long this is going to take, so I'm just going to crack straight on and try and make it as short as possible. So, every trans person has their own coming out story at one point. Everybody's different. I'm here to tell mine. Right. Growing up, I always felt different from the other girls. I was always more of a tomboy, to be honest. Primary school, I never liked wearing like the summer dresses, the skirts. I was always in polo shirts, jumpers, trousers, trainers. You'd see all the other girls in like the dolly shoes and all. I wasn't having it. I was just in the trainers. I just loved it. You wouldn't see me in there. I think there's a couple of photos. Don't know who got them, where they are, but there probably is photos. I don't know. Concerts and stuff, like they'd always obviously put me with the girls, because back then I identified as female, and I always wanted to go with the boys, to be honest. Always bothered with girls, like friends wise, always. Like towards the end of primary school, like we'd have goalposts we'd set up like on the pitch for lunchtime, and like I'd always play the football with the boys. Like I couldn't wait to get out there, be like, oh come on, here we going over on the field and all. Like I love it, like, you know. World Book Day, stuff like that. Like I would dress up, you had to dress up as your favourite character from a book. World Book Day, yeah. You'd see all the girls in my class, like Cinderella and Snow White and Sleeping Beauty, Tinkerbell. Who am I? I'm dressed as Peter Pan. Do you know what I mean? Like, where's that come from? Like, I was like the odd one out, basically. So, that was a sign. I can remember going to one of my friends' Halloween parties as well. All the girls were as like witches and cats, and there I turn up in a werewolf costume. And they're like, why are you wearing a boy's costume? And I'm like, I wanted to wear it. I like it. I want to wear it. So I'm wearing it. There we are. I had a few weddings to go to as well when I was younger. My cousin's wedding, I was actually a bridesmaid, believe it or not. And I had to wear a dress, didn't I? Oh, I love that. God, I can remember getting ready in the morning. I used to have long blonde hair, right? And I'm not joking, it was down to my ass, right? In the morning now, I'm getting ready. My mum's like, right, you gotta have your hair curled now. And I'm like, oh no, I am not having my hair curled. In the corner we go. Here's the curlers like that. Now she's doing my hair and I'm screaming my head off. I can remember it like it was yesterday. I did not want it done at all. Oh my god, it was torture for me. Like I just didn't want it done. Like I had the hair was done, like down, the dress, the shoes. Like I think my mum said that she took other clothes for me to wear like after the wedding, so I didn't have to like wear it all day. So I think, I can't remember to be honest, but I think that's what happened. I put other clothes on. Then my uncle's wedding, he had a medieval themed wedding. Again, I wore a dress. My hair was down again. Good job I had a bobble on me because it went straight up after the wedding, and I had jeans on underneath that dress, believe it or not. So, yeah. There we are. That was a couple of memories that stood out to me from my childhood. Right, high school now, we're on. Sort of kept myself to myself, like, you know, quiet, shy, sort of. Kept the same group of friends in the first, you know, for the first couple of years. Like, I came out to my nan when I was, oh my god, I was about 11, I think it was. When I first came out to her, I just mentioned it to her, like, and it was hard, to be honest. Like, I've always been close with my nan, more than I am, like, with anybody else. So I felt as if I could trust her, and I did. Like, the one night I said, listen, Nan, I said, there's something wrong, like, I don't feel right, if there's something going on. And she said, oh, she mentioned a couple of things. I was like, no, it's not that. And she was like, do you want to be a boy? And I was like, I never said nothing because I was just like, oh my god, she got it. She got it like so straight away. And I went downstairs and I was crying because I was just like, bloody hell, is it that obvious, like, And she came down and she was like, listen, I love you no matter what. You whatever you are, you're my grandkid, like, I love you. And yeah, that's just how it was. And anyway, that was it. Nothing was said. That was the last of it, sort of. Well, it wasn't the last of it, but at the time it was. So anyway, a couple of years later now, about 2 years later, week 13, my brother, he was a big fan of Hollyoaks, and I've never watched it before in my life, right? So I went in his room the one day, and he said, I said, are you watching? Like, Hollyoaks is on. I said, oh yeah. He said, oh yeah, there's a storyline on it. This girl, she wants to be a boy and all. So I was like, what? So, it properly intrigued me, like. So I sat there, and like every day, and when he would come on, I would go in and I would watch it with him just to see, the storyline, to see what was going on. Cause I was proper curious about it. So I really got engrossed into it, to be honest, and that is how I found out that you could take hormones and like sort of change your body. When I was little, I only heard of a sex change. I didn't know what a lesbian was. I knew what gay was. I didn't know what transgender was at all until I watched Hollyoaks, and they sort of like that storyline. It changed my life because like I was just like, oh my god, you can actually do it. Like it's not just an operation. You can there's other stuff to take. There's loads, like it's not just one thing. And that, like, I done my own work again, didn't I, on the internet, and I was just like, oh my god, this is me. I've got to do this. It is possible. I got to do it, like. That is how I found out about it all. That's how I knew, to be honest. Yeah. During high school as well, I slipped into a bit of self-harming as well, around year 9. And I tried my best to hide it. Nobody knew about it. I sort of kept it on the low. But obviously people found out about it eventually. I told my cousin, he's just like the same age as me, we grew up together, he's more of like a brother to me. I was around 13, and he was like, oh, are you sure, like, because he was like, oh, that operation could kill you and all, he goes. I was like, oh yeah, listen, it's me, like, I gotta do it, I wants to do it, it's me, like. Said no more about it, it's only young, wasn't I? And then I went back to my nana then, and I said, listen, I'm still feeling that way. Do you know what I mean? I'm still here, like, it's still in my head, and it's still me. That's what I want. Begged her not to tell my mum, because I didn't know what my mum would say. Then puberty hit me then. I just dread. I knew it was coming. We've had the talks in school. I knows what's going to happen, like. I did not want it. I was dreading it, to be honest. Didn't want a big chest, didn't want periods, didn't want change. Like, I didn't want it. I was just like, can I just stay like this, please? But it did, and I can remember the first day I had my first period. I was devastated. I was like, right then, this is it. Here we go. What can you do with it? It just happens, like. Got on with it. I told my older cousin. Now, I wasn't really close to her at the time, to be honest. I was just speaking to her. I was going on holiday with her, so I was talking to her a lot. And I was talking to her like every day. And she was like, oh, what's wrong and all? And I told her, and I was so scared of telling her. But she was like, oh, Ma, don't worry about it, we love you, your family loves you and all that. And like, I'm not being funny, but like, I wouldn't be here without her, because like, she was my rock through all of that. Like, every time I needed somebody, she was there. Like, through my really, really bad times. I could depend on her for everything. So, I love you, Nat. I can never thank you enough for what you've done. I can't. And it's brought us closer, to be honest. You really have. You're the only one that understood me at the time. And I felt like you was the only one I could talk to. Thank you. Right, back to school. PE, oh my god. I never liked PE. I never really done it, to be honest. I can remember people like asking me like, oh, why don't you do PE? What's the matter with you? I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered, you know. Oh, PE, nah. Can't bother do PE, can't bother bring my kit in, carrying it around all day, no. It wasn't that though. I didn't want to get changed in front of people. I didn't want to expose myself, like, you know. I wasn't comfortable with what I've got. I wasn't comfortable with my body. So I'm not going to get changed in front of people, am I? That is like why I never done PE. And the people that I was in school with will remember me not doing PE. I was always sat on the side or with a note or something, or like no kit or whatever. And I hated getting dressed and stuff. It just felt wrong being in the changing rooms with the girls. It really did. I actually wore like, because my chest, obviously puberty, it gets bigger and bigger, like as you're growing up, as it does. I didn't have a binder back then. My mother didn't know. Nobody knew. No one knew like how I felt. So I just had to make do with what I could. And I used to wear 4 sports bras to try and like flatten my chest as much as possible. I would wear them every day. Just to flatten my chest because I just couldn't bear it. I could not wear a bra. That felt weird saying that then. I couldn't. It felt bizarre. And I just felt as if they were flat enough anyway when I wore those. But like obviously in the summer and all, oh God, it's boiling in it, and you got like 4 of them stuck to you and you can't breathe and you're like, oh my God. Like, I can't remember. I don't know how I got through that, to be honest. I was also alcohol dependent at around 14, 15 years of age. And the last 6 months of school, so in the last year, I wouldn't go to school unless I had a drink on me or I'd had a drink. I don't think a lot of people know that. I really do. I was really down and depressed at the time. And like obviously I couldn't really, I hadn't been to the doctors about like me being trans and stuff and like medically transitioning. I hadn't even gone there, so I was lost. That's the only way I can put it. I was lost. I didn't know what to do, so I turned to drink, which I sometimes do now if I'm on a downer, which I know it don't help because it's, what's the word, a depressant or something. It makes it worse, right? But at the time you don't care, you just want something to numb everything and take the pain away, and you don't want to think of nothing. And that's what I'm like now and again, and I've just got out of that. So, thank God for that. It's because I lack confidence as well. And when I'd had a drink, I would feel 10 times better than the person that I was without the drink, which some people do. But I just wish I was like that without the drink. And that's what I'm trying to learn to do, like, you know. Right, so actually, to the coming out bit now, right? We all the childhoods out the way now, the high school, the primary school, all that. The weddings are out the way, let's go, right? Out the door, come on, man. Right, coming out. I came out when I was about 15, right? I'd had enough, I couldn't keep it in no more. It was just building up, and I just had it. I had it, right? So, I felt as if I had 2 choices. It was either do myself in, that sounds just terrible, like, but it was either that or I would carry on, live my life, and be me. They were my 2 options, right? So, I went away onto YouTube, the old YouTube, And I searched how to come out as transgender, because I thought perhaps it would help me, you know, find a suitable way to come out to people. And it did. Come across a young chap called Alex Birdie, and he explained how he came out by writing a letter to his mother. So later that night, or I think it was a few days later, I think I and ahed a bit, like, you know, whether to do it. I did. I sat up all night and I wrote about 4 A4 pages full of how I felt, about everything that I've like experienced and how I, within my body, like how I feel, what I think. I wrote it all down. The next morning then, I was leaving for school. I put it in a Polly Pocket, proper professional. Left it on the sofa in the room. Said to my mum, right, where am I going now, Tra? Didn't give her a kiss. She was out the kitchen. I was like, right, just go, because otherwise she'd be like, oh, what's this, you know? No, I went to call for my friend so we could have a lift to school. So I went, and that was it then. I thought, oh my God, right, it's there now. She's going to see it. It's over, it's done, right, she's going to know. Okay. So I'm on my way in now, and I'm like, oh my God. In school, I sat down in my first lesson. I remember I had English. I was sat there next to my friend, and I was just like, oh my God, what have I done? I didn't know whether I regretted it or whether I was just like glad that I done it. I don't know how I felt about it. I was just like, oh. It was kind of like one of those things where you're just like, shit, you know? So, yeah. Break time came then. Excuse me. And I texted her and I said, did you read my letter? And she said, oh no, I thought it was your own work you left behind. And I was just like, oh. So anyway, she must have gone away and read it, and I phoned her again at dinner time then, a couple of hours later. Like. So she said, oh, I said, you read my letter? She goes, yeah. What do you think of it? We'll talk about it when you get home. Okay. I was just like, right, okay, am I kicked out? Am I staying? What do you think? What's going on? You know, it wasn't like a positive or a negative response. I was just like, what, you know, I didn't know what she thought. So she was just like, we'll talk about it when you get home. I was like, right, do I go home? Do I go to my nana's? Where do I go? Anyway, I got home, and I remember I got in, and I went upstairs in my room. I went in the room first, the living room, and my nana was down, and I looked in, and my mum was sat there, and I was like, all right. She goes, all right. I was like, yeah. Goes upstairs. I was crying then, wasn't I? Because obviously I knew that she knew. And it's something, you know, you kept in for so long, and then obviously someone knows. It's just like, oh, bloody hell, what do they think? And especially my mother. Do you know what I mean? Your mother's the most important person in your life, like your mother. Your mother. So I went upstairs, I was crying in my room, and she come up then, and she was like, oh, do you want to talk about it? And I said, no, I wasn't ready. I was really upset, like. And she said, right, okay. So it sort of like died down for a couple of days. And then I went into her room then one night, and I was like, I'm ready now. I want to talk, you know. And she was just like, you know, if it's what you want, you know, it's what you want to do it, you got to do it, innit? You know, you got to be happy. And I couldn't believe it. I was just, you know, you build it up for so long, and you're like, oh, do you know what? I'm so like worried about what they're gonna say, and for him to say like, oh, it's fine, and you know, we love you and all that, and I'm like, oh my God. If I'd have known, do you know what I mean? I would have said it so much sooner than rather the bloody build up. But that's just how it goes, and you can't say. It's just how it happens. If I'd have known the reaction from everybody, as soon as my mother knew, obviously my aunties, my cousins, everyone knew, the family knew, friends knew, and then work got ring, wherever. Everyone knows. That's fine with me, I'm not bothered. But yeah, I'd have done it a lot sooner if I'd have known the reaction. Definitely, God. I count myself lucky to have the same people that I got in my life now, which I had back then. And the new people that I've met like along the way. And it's not until now, like reflecting back on my life, like I've realised how far I've actually come. Like, if I'm having a down day, people are like, oh yeah, but look at how you've come, and you're like, you're so wrapped up in that bubble of like downness. You can't see it, you don't realise at the time, but like now, doing this, like planning this video and going back and back, and it's just like, whoa, man, it's, you know, you've been through bloody a lot, like, and it have filled me with quite a few emotions, like, making this, because it's a massive part of my life, like, and it's a roller coaster, and it's just going to keep on going, you know. The journey is just going to continue, and bring it on. Let's go. Let's do it. I'm ready, man. I've waited so long. I am ready, like. Yeah, so that's my coming out story. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I'll be uploading this to Facebook as well as YouTube, because I feel as if there's more users on Facebook that might watch this, and maybe share it if you would be so kind, because it could reach someone that's like me, that didn't know about finding happiness like I did. I had to find out from Hollyoaks, where someone could find out from this. So if you could reach someone like that 11-year-old me that didn't have a clue, that didn't know happiness was possible, do it. And if you feel that you're trans and you feel you're not out yet, or if you feel like you need somebody to talk to, just message me. Literally, my inboxes are always open. I'm always here to talk to anybody, wherever you are, whoever you are. I'm here, okay? I know what it's like. You need to speak to someone. Don't ever, like, don't bottle it all up, because it's no good. It's not. You always need somebody to talk to, and I'm here. Always talk about how you feel. Never be ashamed of how you feel and who you are. Always follow your heart and stay true to who you are. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and you will be happy. Thank you again for watching. This is a long video. I just dropped the camera. See you next time, guys.